Welcome back to Informed Sources. Now that the budget process is over, much of the focus of the Memphis-Shelby County School District will be on improving student performance. According to statistics provided by MSCS, 77% of students in grades 3 through 12 are not proficient in literacy, 77%. The district has committed to having a literacy coach at schools with a letter grade of D or F, along with small group instruction daily and including literacy levels on academic progress reports. During her budget presentation to the County Commission back in May, Dr. Fagans also talked about engagement and partnerships with the city and county to keep students busy beyond school hours.
I think what we can own is there's an opportunity to strengthen our after-school opportunities, to strengthen how we connect with students and allow them to be engaged in extracurricular and co-curricular activities during the school day that could extend beyond the school hours.
The district is also working to cut down on the truancy rate of 40% and absenteeism that even exceeds that. So the future, you have a huge job ahead of you. Historically, the district has been performing poorly in just the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic. What are you going to be doing to try to get the kids back closer to the state standard?
Sure. So what I've shared as a broad expectation publicly and certainly internally with our leaders is that we will read and write every day in every class on every campus. That's the bottom line. That is the fundamental expectation that I expect to see and hear when I'm entering our school buildings as we think about curriculum and sharpening our processes there. But we'll get back to basics, and sometimes, Greg, that's just all you need to do is to do the things that are basic well, do them consistently, and then we can get the types of outcomes that we're seeking. Literacy coaches, of course, because there's a need, as you can see, you've read the statistics, there's a need to accelerate the way that we're doing the work. And so when we have students who are entering grade levels 2 and 3 grade levels behind, then there's a need to accelerate that work. So that's where our literacy coaches will come into place, or our instructional coaches. We certainly are strengthening as we think about the number of new teachers and teachers who do not hold full certification yet. So strengthening our professional development for them so that we ensure that the highest leverage of instructional strategies are being provided. And then you've read off, those schools that are designated by the state as a grade letter of D or F, SOUP schools. I'll own the heaviest work. We provide our deepest investments there. So the wraparound supports as we think about the community schools model and what that really means to give a school, to give students, to give parents what they need resource-wise to show up. That improves attendance and decreases chronic absenteeism and truancy, to show up and feel safe. That's where we think about safety and security, and leaning into grants and support from the state about how we ensure truly that an officer is in every building, if that is the request of the community itself. As we think about certainly our math proficiency as well, it is rethinking and unlearning some of the ways that we've been doing our work, and really focusing in on the sharpest ways forward.
You mentioned the 115,000 students. You also have, I believe it's some in the neighborhood of 14,000 troops that are following you into this battle. But I think fewer than half of those are in the classroom. Is the district top-heavy at this time, and is that part of the problem that we've experienced in the past?
Sure, and so you've heard me say it once, I'll say it until we get it more balanced, is the magic happens in the classroom. And so that's where we need the greatest level of support. That comes through teachers, professional school counselors, that's nurses, social workers, school psychologists, speech pathologists, certainly our graduation coaches as we think about our rate of 81%, right? How do we get to 100%? But certainly we should very well be sitting at 90% or higher. And so the resources belong in the classroom or as close to our schools as possible. The work very rarely can be done well from central office. And so moving into a decentralized model, meaning we have those supports made available immediately, and that comes to decision making as well. Everything should not wait for the superintendent to make a decision or someone at central office. And so we've established and set up networks with hubs, an ecosystem, if you will, so representation from operations, talent, enrollment, attendance, our Office of Family Engagement, student experience, and then there will be individuals that wrap the networks of schools, 7 networks of schools, and they will support those cohorts.
Some of the decisions you make will have even a deeper impact on the city at large. We talked talked about absenteeism and truancy.
Yeah.
When you talked to the board, you said currently 77% of students are not reading proficiently, 83% of students are deficient in math, and you're dealing with a 51% chronic absenteeism and a 41% truancy. So when you look at that, some of that is contributing to the city's crime problem. So what are you doing to try to get the kids off the streets and back into the schools?
Yeah, so I've shared that I don't know that I can make the direct correlation that our students are outperforming and creating the violence. What I do know is every time that a student is not in school, not in class, then they're subject to doing something that is not beneficial for themselves, their future, and certainly our community and our city. And so what I have shared with Mayor Young, Mayor Harris, the City Council, County Commissioners, our own board commissioners, and certainly the general public, is that we do have to find activities and make them available ourselves, and also partner with those organizations who are already doing great work in the community to ensure that every student has access to something that is interesting to them. And so every student has an expectation that has been placed upon them from me and their school principal to be involved in at least one organization in their school. After school hours, that could be athletics for sure, that could be tutoring, the debate club, but do something after school. But it is incumbent upon us to make those connections to our parks and recreations and in different organizations to ensure that if there's not something that we're able to offer as a district, then there's something that we can make the connection to in the city.
Yeah, multi-pronged approach, it
Absolutely.
sounds like. Next, we'll have some final thoughts. Stay with us.